Hello everyone out there on YouTube. Thank you all again for checking out today's gaming news and coverage. And if you happen to be new, welcome. Come in, check things out, and hopefully this can become a place for all your news and reviews on your open world, RPG, MMO, and indie games, as well as a big focus, huge focus, like this video here, on game mods and new game releases. So YouTube, what are we talking about today? We're talking about Cyberpunk 2077 and more precisely, the status of mods post Update 2.0 and Phantom Liberty. As we know, game updates and DLCs are always going to explode and destroy the gaming's modding scene. So today, I want to briefly touch base on what the best way to mod Cyberpunk is, look at updates and where the modding community is at now, and then give my opinion on things you should and shouldn't do as we wait for everything to finally catch up, get updated, and get back to normal. The good news is, for the most part, the modding scene for Cyberpunk 2077 is looking really good. Most things are updated, and it should just be a matter of fixing and tweaking little bugs with some of the dependency mods before all the mods are all set and ready to go once again for your playthroughs. So first off, how to get mods, which mods to get, and how to begin. If you have experience modding other games, probably Bethesda games, you likely already have an understanding of how this all works. But if you're new to modding, you're probably overwhelmed and confused, and when you reach out and ask for help, you probably often get things like, why don't you go read the description, or go read this, go read that. And when you have so many questions, the more you read, the more you get confused. If you already don't understand it, going and reading, a lot of times it's just going to pile on a lot more things, because in modding there are a lot of variables, and again, it causes everything to become very overwhelming and very frustrating. But if you can find the right things to go read and learn about the base of modding, you can find out that modding is actually very easy. It just takes some time for you to monitor and make sure you have everything organized. And on that note, it's important to understand that the very first rule of modding, the very first thing that you must understand, is that modding is not about going out there, finding all the things you like, clicking on them, putting them into your game, and then downloading them and installing them, because doing this is going to create a huge mess. So we're going to start very simple on how you go about installing files and maybe helping you determine which ones you want to choose to install. So the first thing to do is search through the currently trending mods, and I suggest going to Nexus Mods and going over here to the top files. From there, you want to head over to the right hand side and you're going to see several filters. And we're going to go ahead and start with the left hand filter, and we're going to decide how far back we want to go. And I would suggest choosing all time, unless you're looking for a mod in a very specific time period, or if you're just looking at new mods that have come out. And from there, we're going to select trending. And I like and I recommend trending because it's going to bring out those mods that are relevant now. All right, these are going to show mods that are getting lots of attention right now, not mods that got a lot of attention a year ago. And this could be because the mod is important, or maybe the mod is suddenly very popular because it does something that people like, or it could mean that the mod has been recently updated. But all those things are going to be good things, and those are going to be the mods that we want to focus on, because trending does one very good thing, and it's that it eliminates those mods that have high numbers of downloads, but oftentimes are older mods, and they're no longer being updated and supported. People often see a high number of downloads, and they associate that with the mod being good, and this is very, very wrong. Yes, good mods are going to have a lot of downloads. They're going to have a lot of endorsements. But mods that came out at the beginning of the game cycle often have accumulated a lot of downloads, and if you take the time to check, you may notice that this mod is no longer even taken care of. It's been sitting dormant for a year or two, it hasn't been updated, and this mod is not going to be a good mod to put into your load order. So trending is going to take out these obsolete, broken, and mods that haven't been updated, and it's going to give us mods that are good and important now. And once we get to a mod, the first thing we want to do is we want to look up at the header of the mod and see when the mod was created and see when it was last updated. Now, with all the changes that have come out recently, Cyberpunk 2077 Update 2.0, which happened on September 21st, and the release of Phantom Liberty, which released on September 26th. Now, not every mod was required to be updated after 2.0, but in reality, most of them did need fine-tuned and updated. Then head over to posts, and we're going to read the most recent sticky from the mod creator, as well as any posts from users, so that you can get a clear picture on the current state of the mod. You can also, adding to that, look at the next tab over for the bugs. And if you see that there's a high number of bug reports and currently a lot of them are not fixed, this may be a mod that you want to go ahead and wait on. Luckily, you do have the option that you can go up here and click on track mod. So if this is a mod that you really want, but it has a lot of bugs right now and things are still getting tweaked and fixed after 2.0, you can go ahead and track it and come back often, watch the progress, and once you feel that it's in a good stable position, you can go ahead and download it and add it to your game. So the next big topic and thing that you want to focus on when you're downloading mods is what's called dependency mods. Make sure you are checking these and make sure that the dependencies are always updated. This is what really slowed down and broke all the mods in Cyberpunk after the release of 2.0, as there were several key mods known as dependencies that are a base for a lot of the mods that are out there. And these mods are Cyber Engine tweaks, RedScript, Red4ext, Archive XL, and Tweak XL. Then you have kind of like that lower tier of needed dependency mods like native UI settings, codeware, and CyberCMD. CyberCMD is a mod that I've had a lot of issues with in the past, so that's actually one I avoid, but it is used as a dependency for a lot of really cool mods that are out there. Then you even have other dependency mods like the Virtual Atelier, is that how you say that? And what this does is it creates a framework for computers inside the game for people that create clothing to allow them to host all their clothing on a store. So while you're in game, you can go online and purchase the clothing from their online store. So it's a dependency because it creates the framework that a lot of the clothing mods use so that they can sell it instead of putting a vendor out there or trying to integrate the clothing and stuff into a loot list. They can bypass all of that and all the bugs that that can cause. But anyway, so as you see, you have a lot of things to factor into modding and a lot of things to be aware of. But once you understand, you can kind of start to not be as overwhelmed and you can start to see the bigger picture and start to understand what you're really doing. So hopefully now that you see this, you can understand what to focus on and begin setting up your mods and feel more confident and comfortable knowing what you're doing. So with all that confusing knowledge and things that you should be looking at out of the way, let's get to the easy part. And the easy part is installing the mods. Some mods you can see use Vortex to install, and using a mod manager is nice because it lists everything for you, it tracks them, it lets you know when they were last updated, as well as allowing you to easily install and uninstall mods. The big issue with Cyberpunk is that Vortex doesn't always deploy them correctly, so many mod creators will directly state in the main mod page to manually install their mod that it is the preferred method. So to avoid the chance of conflicts, just install it manually if that's what the mod creator says, because guess what? They did create this mod, so they are very likely the most knowledgeable person on what is best for said mod. So manually installing is very easy. Download the mods you want, and what I do is I create a folder, move them into the folder. See, I made this folder here, and this is just for unzipped mod files. Then open another window and go to where your game directory is located. You'll see the main game exe along with other folders here up at the top. Now you're simply going to unzip the mod file, then click and drag the contents over to the game folder, drop it in, and everything will deploy to where it's needed. If any changes are needed to be made to any files or anything needs to be overwritten, you'll be given the prompt, a little pop-up will come up to go ahead and overwrite them. Once you drop the mod into the game folder, you'll see the folders are highlighted. This will show you the designated path of everything that you've just added into the game. And that's really all there is to installing mods. So the things you need to make sure of is, make sure that you have all the dependencies for the mod. Make sure the mod and its dependencies are both updated and working with the newest version of the game. Then you just go ahead and unzip, you drag, you drop, and your mod is installed into the game. And now for things to watch out, just really briefly here, over the next few weeks, there's going to be a lot of little bugs and fixes that are going to come out for a lot of mods because everything's been updated, everything's changing, and the entire system of the game has been redone. So most updated them so that they would work for the current version of the game, but they haven't fixed and tweaked all the little bugs for the new way that the game's played. So keep tabs on your favorite mods and make sure that you're watching as they're updated. follow any of the bug reports, and more or less just watch and update when available. Now, the dependency mods will be the ones that you'll want to keep the closest eye on, and luckily, if you do as I said before, and when you go to look at mods, go over to the filters and sort by all time and trending, you're going to see all the key dependency mods at the very top of the list, and this makes it very easy for you to jump in, check, and see what's going on. And with that, it's back to Cyberpunk 2077 for me. I got some leveling to do, so everyone enjoy, be safe, and I will see you in the next video.